I'm Samantha Pierce. I am the mother of Christyan and Jayden, two beautiful babies that were born too soon. They were born at 21.6 weeks, which is just at about 5 months of pregnancy. We really had just found out maybe a few weeks earlier that there was two of them because we thought we only had one baby. And when the doctors they did some blood work or something and they thought that uh, something seemed off. They were like, something is off here. And they thought that they were seeing markers like for spina bifida or something like that. And I was like, what is that? Spina bifida, what is that? It's not something that I had heard of in my own community, you know. So it turned out to be two babies. Yeah, the markers were all off for a single baby because there was two of them in there. Um, and that was our introduction to Christyan and Jayden. Um, we were shocked. We were like twins. I'm looking at him like what the, and he looking at me like what the, you know. Two babies, wow. I freaked out a little bit. I can't lie to you. I was like, what am I supposed to do with two? I had already had Ethan. He was, a single baby. So I knew how to raise a single baby. What do you do with two? So I freaked out. Once the freaking out started to wear off, though, we started to get a little excited. Our parents were totally excited. Like, yay! My mama walked around like, I knew it would be one of mine to give me them twins. Twins runs on her side of the family. They all looking around to see who's gonna have these twins because it skips generations and all that. Yeah. So here I am about to have the family's twins. Um, we just carried on with life after that, like, okay. The doctors kept asking me if I had any complications in my other pregnancy with Ethan, and it's like, no, he was overdue, in fact. We had to force him out, and he was healthy. So nothing to write home about, nothing to even think about. I was sitting at home and I was leaking fluid, and I kept saying, that's a lot of fluid. I mentioned it to my best friend who was a nurse at the time over the phone. And she was like, you really should go to the doctor. And I was like, it's the weekend. So I was like, maybe I'll go on Monday if it doesn't, let up, but not right now. And then I was like, wanting to go do some exercise. I wanted to go do some water aerobics. It happened to storm that afternoon, which is what stopped me from going to water aerobics. Because it started lightning. And I was like, oh, okay. Can't go to water aerobics. So I didn't go to water aerobics. But I did sit around talking to my best friend about leaking this fluid. And she was pretty adamant, but I never did go. And Sunday comes around and she's like, "You still didn't go?" And I was like, "Nah." Monday, I got up to go to work. And when I got to work, we at the time we had a staff meeting every Monday morning. I got up, went to work, and before the staff meeting, I called my doctor's secretary, told her what was going on. Carol, I'll never forget. At this point, they all know me. I don't know how that happens, but anyway, you learn to love me. Um, Carol's like, "Hey Sam, that doesn't sound good, and I think you should come in and let us check you out." And I told her, I was like, "I can't. I got the staff meeting. I got every excuse as to why I can't come into the doctor's office. I really didn't want to go. I really didn't think it was anything, just like, what are they freaking out about? Like, I've carried a baby before, full term. This is nothing." So Carol was pretty adamant. Um, and she actually said, "Well, if you're not going to come in, I'm going to call Sally. That's my doctor." Like, not that I'm scared of Sally, but first of all, I'm not scared of Sally. But second of all, okay, Carol, if you really think it's that important, I'll come in. So I looked to my staff. I go, at the time, I'm the chief operating officer of a nonprofit. So I'm supposed to be running this meeting. And so I asked my number two, like, "Can you handle this meeting? They want me to come into the doctor's office." He's like, "Go. Go take care of yourself. Go make sure everything is fine." So I show up. Um, well, I go get my husband first, and because he was at home, and then we go over to the doctor's office. We go to the labor and delivery. They take a look at me, and sure enough, I'm leaking fluids. Um, they're like, "We have to keep you." Keep me for what? Why do you have to keep me? And the docs is trying to explain to me that this is amniotic fluid that is leaking, and I'm in danger of my water breaking, and then the baby's coming too soon. And it was all stuff that I had not thought of, heard of, or anything like that. So, we're taking a look at the babies. They got them on ultrasound, and we can see the both of them. And Christian is kicking at Jayden. It's the funniest thing ever. We're looking at the monitor, and we're both like, "Boy, stop. What are you doing?" Like, he's full extension kicking at his brother, which is probably one of the best memories ever. I can still see it to this day. I wish we had, back then cameras that had, high tech, phones that had high tech cameras that we could have captured that, or even thought to capture it. But it was great to see that. Um, but looking at that, we were like, "Look at them. They're fine. What's the problem? They're fine." But they weren't fine. They were fine in the moment because they still had fluids, but they put me on bed rest. They kept me in a hospital. I fought tooth and nail because I was in charge of this nonprofit. We were putting in this grant, this huge grant that could mean all of our livelihoods. And here I am being hospitalized. So I was kind of freaking out for all the wrong reasons, by the way. But again, I didn't know anything about loss. I didn't know anything about even the possibility of losing babies. I didn't know anything about that. So for me, it was like, people have babies every day. What do you, I've had a baby before, so let's get on with this. I still have to work. I got a lot to do. Yeah, I don't know. If I had it to do over again, well, we don't have to talk about that. But so I'm in the hospital, and a few days later, it gets a little worse. I maintained for a couple of days. People are coming to visit. Staff is coming to see me. Family's coming to see me. People are coming to comb my hair for me because I look a hot mess. Um, but it gets a little bit worse, and they don't want me to move. And so they put me on bed rest. So before, for the first couple of days, I could get up and use the bathroom. But now they're like, no, we can't even let you get up to use the bathroom. You have to be in the bed. And let me tell you, yeah, the bedpan is a very humbling experience. I'll tell you that. So now I'm not allowed to move at all, and um, we're maintaining for another couple of days. But on that fifth day, I went in on Monday. On Friday, uh, my water completely broke. I was laying there having a regular conversation, and my water broke. It was Friday evening. And here comes Christian. So within the hour, we deliver Christian. Jayden has no way of surviving. Um, and so they have to induce him out. And we have to wait. So we've had Christian, we've held him, we've talked to him. I watched my husband talk to him, try to give him brotherly advice, like how to take care of your little brother. They let us hold him for as long as we want. And when we finally hand him over, we know that that's the last time we're going to see him, you know. But we hand him over. And we're waiting for Jayden, who doesn't make his way for hours, by the way. So it's actually the next day. Jayden doesn't come until 3 a.m., the 3 o'clock hour, the next day. So they have separate birthdays, but we just repeat. We hold him. We talk to him. Tell him how much we love him, how much we're going to miss him. Yeah. So we come home without babies. We had already started setting up the room. So we come home to a crib with no baby to put in the crib. And we got some explaining to do. We got a little one at the house. Ethan was young. We had to explain to him how Christyan and Jayden didn't make it, why we're coming home empty-handed, why there are no babies with us, why mommy's belly is gone. It's a mess. And we slowly and surely try to get back into anything, any kind of life. The funny thing is that no matter how bad you're hurting, the world keeps moving, you know, like I was watching, I just remember just so blatantly that people were walking down the street. I just lost my everything. And y'all just walking down the street like it's nothing. Y'all, I know it sounds crazy, but let me tell you, grief has no logic whatsoever. So, looking around, I'm just trying to maintain, and it's hard. And people don't understand you. People didn't understand me. Humor is crazy, and grief. Everything that you look at is just so different. Like, everything is different. Work is different. Your relationships are different. My best friend didn't know what to say, but I didn't know what to say to her either, you know, like, I don't need anything from you. I just need you to sit here. I need it to not be awkward if I want to cry. I just don't want it to be awkward. But it's awkward because I got a dead baby now. I have two dead babies now. Yeah, it's awkward. Who knows what to say to that? Fast forward, I get pregnant again with another set of twins. It's kind of crazy, y'all. It's another set of twins on the way. And this time, Sally's not messing around. Sally like, okay, y'all want to do this again? Okay. We get over to high risk pregnancy. The OB department that takes care of us from then on, Dr. Mercer is like, all right now, we not messing around. You're going out on bed rest. I was 14 weeks going out on bed rest. Still same job now. Keep this in mind because it's not a lot of time has passed. So I just came back from losing babies, and now I'm about to go out on bed rest for having another set of twins. We go out on bed rest at 14 weeks. Um, I'm allowed to come. I live in a house that has an upstairs and downstairs. I'm allowed to come downstairs once. And then if I go back upstairs, I got to stay up there. So thankfully, we had a bathroom on the first floor at the time. And so when I came downstairs in the morning, I kind of hung out on the couch or on the porch. It was summertime. Um, my mom came over every day with an Angus burger from McDonald's. Don't ask me why that's what I was craving, but that explains a lot about these twins now, anyway. But my dad came and stayed with us for about a week and a half, and he hung out on the porch with me um, every single day that he was here. Um, we fight tooth and nail to get them here healthy. I was given a cerclage that is a stitch. They stitch up the cervix to be able to hold the babies in, and at 28 weeks, we remove the stitch. And here's the thing. In my wild imagination, I imagined that Sally's going to cut the stitch out and bloop, 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 babies would just fall out. Because that's my past experience. Like, we were trying not to have Christyan and Jayden, and bloop, 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 here comes Christyan. So that's not what happened. We cut the cerclage out at 28 weeks, and then we go to 34 weeks. It's like, well, y'all not ready yet? What? Now y'all want to stay put? Like, what's going on here? It's a blessing. But at 34 weeks, at this point, I'm seeing Dr. Mercer once a week. And so he's monitoring their weight, their, how long they're getting, so on and so forth. And from the 33rd week to 34th week, the girl didn't pick up any weight and the boy did. And it had been going like that for a couple of weeks. And Dr. Mercer finally said, okay, the boy is eating everything from the girl. And at this point, I think they would do better out of the womb rather than keeping them in the womb, because she's not picking up any weight. She remained the same for 2 weeks. And so she's not developing in the womb. So it was better to get them out. So at 34 weeks, we induced them out. Here comes Cameron and Caden, or I should say Caden and Cameron, because Caden is the oldest. And 2 more beautiful babies. Yeah, quite a ride, right? So, what did we learn? I don't know. I don't know where to start, right? Caden and Cameron are now 11 years old. Christyan and Jayden would have been 12. After Caden and Cameron came along, it was hard for me to look at myself in the eyes of forgiveness. It was hard for me to look at myself lovingly and without holding myself responsible. And that's even before Caden and Cameron came. Like, as soon as the loss occurred, I could think back on all types of things I had done in my life that could cause this. Uh, I was, I, I was not taking good care of my body, you guys. I had had abortions. I had eaten like crap. I drank a lot. I I was not kind to my body in a way that welcomes childbirth. I was young. Who's thinking about that when we're young? My 20s, I was just kicking it, like without thinking of my future, without thinking of what that could look like. And I could not forgive myself for that. And it's like, now I'm 45. Today I am 45. And I look back on it and I say, well, we all make mistakes. We all live this life to the fullest, to the best of our ability. And there's nothing you can do about that. You can't go back and make changes. Everything happened the way that it was supposed to happen. But it's so hard to forgive yourself. And so that's one of the things that I work on today. Like, I really have to work on forgiving myself for all of the mistakes that I made that I didn't know any better about. I'm thankful for friends who could come by and basically put on our brains, on our heads, on our hearts that we needed to go get some therapy. Because I don't know that we would have done it otherwise. And through therapy, we've been able to work through some things and really get a grip on ourselves and be better for our living children. Remember, at the time, I already had Ethan. So I had to move forward. And especially after Caden and Cameron came along, we really needed to be grounded, to be present for them. So we went through a lot of therapy, one-on-one, group therapy, photo therapy, all kind of therapy, which is great because we still have some of the best relationships from families that we never would have encountered had it not been for Christyan and Jayden. And I'm still very thankful for that. Lifelong friends, lifelong kindred souls that just get you. So no matter what's happening, it's like when we get together over the holidays, we haven't done that in a while, but when we do, it's so comfortable. And if someone loses their shit, it's not awkward. It's okay. We all know what's going on here. Holidays are hard when you're missing someone, especially children. So I'm so thankful for that. I began working out. Really, that began because, honestly, I couldn't stand the sight of I couldn't stand the sight of my belly. It was like this constant reminder of my very unhealthy womb. Who views themselves as a walking casket? Yeah. I don't know if you can relate, but most people cannot. But that's what I saw. And so I decided that there's only one way to get rid of it, and it's to work out. I was already suffering from high blood pressure. The doctor was demanding that I do something about it, get more physical. And I started Zumba, but somewhere around there, I began to really want to get rid of this evidence. And so I hired a personal trainer. When I started personal training, within a year, I was off my blood pressure pills. Totally regulated. I was fine. And it made me think, now wait a minute. Now just wait a minute. You mean to tell me that lifting weights corrected my blood pressure? It did? Really? Now, what if I had began lifting before getting pregnant? Could I have better controlled my outcome? Maybe. I think so. Now my head's going, Now I'm, really thinking about it. And by the way, I'm also in grad school. So I was in school I was at Case for social work. So I'm also working through theories and behavioral health and stuff like that. Adult mental health. Like, wait a minute, hold on. You mean to tell me all this is interrelated? It is? How? Sway. So my wheels are turning now. And that's how Renegade Soul was born, because now that my wheels are turning, I'm like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that through personal training, we can start correcting our health metrics and become healthier people all the way around? And by the way, I was thoroughly enjoying my personal training journey. I mean, it's torture. I mean, but I do love the results. I was starting to look great. I was starting to feel great. I was starting to feel less stressed. I was starting to like what I see in the mirror. Took a long time for that belly to go away, though. Let me tell you, it's the last thing to go. But I could look at myself and not see a walking casket. Very important. Because no matter what is happening around you, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. And I wasn't feeling it before personal training. I wasn't. I was guilt-ridden. I was sad. I was really sad. Rightfully so, but at least now I have an outlet, a way to start correcting my mood, to start correcting my body, to start correcting my health, everything. So that's how Renegade Soul was born. And now when I'm working with clients, it's always under the guise of mental health. It's always under the guise of, we're going to correct what's all the way wrong. It's renegade, right? That means you have to unlearn and put aside some of the things that you've learned. Because here are some things that I thought were true that's absolutely not true. That if you had education, if you had insurance, if you took your prenatal vitamins, that you would have a healthy baby. That's what they tell us. Well, guess what? I took my prenatal vitamins for a year before getting pregnant. I had education. I already had a bachelor's degree. I had insurance. My husband worked for the hospital. We had all the best care. And very decent income at the time, if I must say so myself. So, all of that, I fit all of that, and I still lost. Yeah. They're not talking about racism. They're not talking about stress levels, which is really what they should be talking about. Yeah. They leave all that stuff out. So, I enjoyed personal training so much that every time I reached a goal, I set another goal. And that's how it should go, right? You reach one goal, you set another. By the time I got to the bodybuilding stage, it really was just to prove that I could. It really was just a story of victory. That no matter what happened on this stage, that I could go from hating my body to really building my body and embracing my body. Movement does that for you. Movement, fitness, lifting, yoga. It brings you back to yourself. It helps you find exactly who you are. Because the child loss journey is a journey all on itself. But I decided to take the child loss journey and parallel it with the fitness journey. And they do parallel. There are moments of isolation that they look exactly the same. There are moments where, on the journey to the stage, where you have to do it alone. You have to dig deep within yourself to stay the course. And the same is true on the child loss journey. It's a journey that, so the child loss journey is a journey that nobody's going to want to take on. Nobody's signing up for that. Nobody is saying, I'm going to go on this journey of child loss and then go get pregnant and then lose a child on purpose. Nobody does that. This is a journey that's given to you. What you do with it is most important. The choice is yours. The choice was mine. I could stay in I could stay in a dark place, or I could work on getting to a brighter place. And that's where the isolation comes in. What kind of conversations are you going to have with yourself? I'm going to get through this. I am going to live so that I can see them again one day. I am going to make them proud. I am. And I hope that I've made them proud. We've built something really amazing. Renegade Soul is amazing. The Christyan Jayden project is now helping other families of child loss. We do grief recovery method and other referral services. We help families like ours. Who better to help you than someone who knows what you're feeling, potentially? So we're here to help. We're here. The Renegade Soul is here to help you get to your physical goals, your health goals. The Christyan Jayden Project is here to help you through your grief. We all need help. I needed help. I'm thankful for all of the help that I could get. it leads me right here. If there were no Christyan and Jayden, there would be no Renegade Soul or the Christyan Jayden Project. I'm so thankful for them. We only got a short time here on earth together, but man, did they change my life. Man, did they change the whole course of everything that I was doing. And I'm so thankful. I hope that my story could help you.